So I'm going to do a run first and show you how just to set the cutter up for the right height. So I've just selected this text, which means it's just going to engrave this. So if I go to the machining page, I'm going to use regulating nose for now, and then I'll show you, I'm going to change it afterwards to diamond drag. So I'm just going to run this. So you only need to do this the first time to get the cutter depth where you want it. So I'm just going to start. It's just homing itself. Alright, so it's going to prompt me with regulating nose, remove the cutter, turn the micrometer to 0. Already removed the cutter. Let's put the micrometer to 0. And then I'm going to hit tick. Alright, so it's going to move down. So here's my cutter with the 1mm thickness. So I'm just going to drop it in, push it all the way down to make sure that it's touching the material, which you can see there's a little hole in the back of the nose cone there, but I know that's touching. So I'm just going to tighten that up, and then I'm going to hit the tick. Alright, now I'm just going to turn the micrometer. I'm just going to turn it to 3, which would be the equivalent of, should be 0.06 mil, sorry, engraving depth, which is what I use for this here. Alright, so now that that's done, I'm just going to cancel out. So you could just run it like that with the regulating nose, but I'm going to show you a method where you won't have to do it every time. So let's say the machine's off, we just turned it on. Then you come here, select, we're going to select diamond drag. I'm going to put this on 0.35, which means it's going to push another 0.35 mil down into the material. And that's just in case there's any variances in the material height. And then what I've done here, so I've already set up the position of the cutter. So the way diamond drag works, it just reads it like it's going to do like a surface engraving, and it's going to push down 0.35. So it's going to push down to the nose cone, and that cutter's barely exposed by only 0.06 mil. So you'll see when I start it, if you're not going to change the position of the cutter at all, so it's going to go down and find its height, and then it's just going to start engraving. Apologies, it's a bit noisy. So this is engraving at 0.06 mil depth. And I've got it pushing down harder just to make sure it cuts into the material. So you'll see there it's doing its thing. I'm just going to pause it because it's a bit noisy. But this way you won't have to change your position of the cutter here. And all you need to do is just select diamond drag and run the job. And you can see there, that's the engraving. And if I get my ruler, I'm just going to get this out of the way. Just measure it here. To get my ruler, you can see that that is exactly 1 mil. Now I'll also show you a trick. So see here how this, I'd had to set the depth down a bit lower, but see how it didn't quite get some of these edges? Because we're going quite shallow. Sometimes, so I had this value as less before, but I've increased it now. So I'm going to show you a little trick to do if you just want to try and go back over it, just because maybe a few of the letters didn't go deep enough. So I'm just going to change that to red. So the OF, click the color wheel here. I'm going to make it red, and that means I've made 2 different tool paths now. So I've got black tool, which is, black tool, red tool, so it thinks, I'm tricking it into thinking it's swapping the tool even though it's not. And then if I go to tool path set, I'm going to click tool 0, and that will get rid of it, just showing tool 1. So now if I preview this, this is like the red tool, if you can think of it. It's only going to do O and F. So if I go OK, and I run this now, I just realized you can see that extra line between storage. I did take the plate out and move it again, so it might be out a little bit, but anyway, we'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to click OK and then run. And we don't have to touch our tool, we just press play. And then it's going to move over to the O and F. It's going to go down, touch it, and engrave straight away. So let's see how well I realign that. Okay, not very well. Alright, so you can see I didn't do a very good job at realigning that in the correct spot, but you can see there on the O it's picked up the whole O, and same for the F. But that shouldn't happen as long as you set this depth deep enough. So this piece of material is a bit bent. But yeah, that's 0.35 diamond drag, so that way you won't have to set your depth when you come in the morning.